Hey y'all, it's VJ.
It's James.
And this is
A sip
and a shot. Whoop, whoop, whoop. And we're back.
Yeah, we did that before. We're back.
Yes, we're back. We have our drinks, the Millionaire made. We poured. We're gonna put the finishing touches of nutmeg on top.
A little nutmeg.
Oh,
a lot of nutmeg for hers. That just is extra luck.
Oh, thank you for that, friend.
Oh, and then we're also back with our guest. Bless you, Jayden.
From Prestige Accounting Solutions.
Yes, and I realized we did not cheers with Jayden. So Jayden, can we get a little cheers with you? Cheers, friends. I don't know. It doesn't taste bad. It's very licoricey.
Which is the absinthe.
Yes. But it's good. Like, it's something that I could drink.
You would drink it again?
Yeah, I would drink it again. Now that I know what it is, I would drink it again. Period.
I think I don't like it.
You put too much absinthe in it?
No, I put the amount of, it's just too absinthe-y, I guess. So maybe I did put too much in. I don't like licorice, and it has a very strong licorice taste to me. Mm-hmm. So I'm not a big fan.
Well, there's that.
I like sweet drinks, and so I think it could be good. It does. I will say it does feel like money.
Yeah.
It does feel like money. I ain't gonna hold y'all.
Anything in a coupe glass is gonna feel like money. I'm gonna put it like that.
I feel bossy.
It just feels a little Great Gatsby like.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have it again, but yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, let's jump in.
But enough of that. Enough of us. Enough of the drinks. Let's turn it over to Jayden. So can you start off by telling us a little bit about your company and how you got started right there in Atlanta?
Absolutely. So my name is Jayden Doye, CPA. I started Prestige Accounting Solutions back in 2019. And this was after working a number of different accounting roles and then working in a CPA firm for 4 years. And at the point where I became licensed, I realized that I wanted to serve clients in a different way. And so I said, let me just start my own firm. In addition to that, I don't know if you all have ever experienced this, but being a Black person in a space that doesn't really have a lot of minorities, it can, we deal with a number of different things. So I was dealing with passive aggressiveness and various different things. And so after having headaches almost every day, I was like, for about 6 months, I said, all right, it's time to go. And I made the move to start my own company. And
oh no. Uh-oh. I think we lost Jayden for a little bit, but as soon as we get him back, I think it's very exciting to start your own company. Like when we started this, we were like, oh shoot, we got a business.
Yes.
It was a little different when we started. We didn't start we started for fun, and now it's created this whole new business.
Yeah, and it looks like Jayden's back.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, I'm back. Don't know what happened there.
Okay.
There we go. Good old internet.
Gotta love a good Wi-Fi. We're back with Jayden Doye.
Yes. So yeah, I mean, for me, I didn't like a lot of things that I dealt with working in corporate America, and I knew that I wanted to serve clients differently. So it was meant for me, honestly. I knew it was meant for me because even my first week, I had clients telling me, I can't wait till you start your own firm. And I'm like, what? You crazy. I didn't have the entrepreneurial spirit back then, but now I do.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's amazing.
That's cool.
Sometimes you never know where that first little message will come up, or somebody that's going to push you and just give you a word.
And I think someone seeing something in you that you don't necessarily see in yourself. Like, you probably never thought, like, oh, I want to be an entrepreneur. Like, I want to make my money, get my benefits, and go on my vacations and call it a day. Like, I want to clock out and be done. But, to take your own business on is exciting. So, claps for Jayden.
Absolutely. Thank you. Yeah,
So
it's
Veronica
been
brought
a
up,
journey for sure.
It's been a journey.
I believe it,
Yeah.
especially with the pandemic, because you started 2019,
Yep.
right?
Mhm.
And then how did you?
How did 2020 work out?
Oh,
Was
2020
that like
was
a
a
scare?
blessing, honestly, because
Okay.
I started my firm. It was always virtual. So
Mhm.
when the pandemic, and then you have to remember, I'm the networking king. You could throw me in a room with people I don't know, and best believe I'm gonna leave with some business cards. And so,
Okay.
right before 3/15, mind you, is a corporate tax deadline, and that is the day which we pretty much shut down here in Atlanta. And I remember before that, I would go to about 4 networking events a week. So I would get to the office at 7 a.m., wouldn't get home until 10 p.m. And so that was draining my body and my gas tank. So when the pandemic
Mhm.
happened
Yeah,
and I
okay.
said, I don't got to leave the house to network with people, oh, that was a blessing. And because I'm an innovator, it helped me catapult my business to a point where I generated 6 figures and it wasn't even the end of Q2 yet.
There, come on.
Okay, sir.
That's how you do it.
Okay.
That's how you do it, and that's why we have you on the show.
Okay. That is why. That's, a lot of people have said 2020 was a blessing. And I think sometimes we forget that. So it's great talking to someone who gets it. Like, we started in 2020 and it has become something much bigger than we ever thought it would be.
Yep.
And I think starting a business, and it starts at the right time. Everything happens at the right time.
Yes.
Now, 2020 wasn't great for everyone. I get it. But we're going to focus on the positives today.
Yes.
Yes. So, sipping and saving. What are some tips you have for people trying to start? Well, first off, it's tax season. When do taxes have to be filed?
Well,
I'm asking you.
if you're a partnership or S corp, it was due 3/15. So hopefully, if somebody is in
Okay.
one of those entities, your CPA filed an extension for you.
Okay.
Okay. See.
Okay. For everybody else,
Oh yeah,
it's like April.
individuals is 3/15. I mean 4/15, unless that
4/15. That's what I
falls
thought. Okay, I got
unless
time.
that falls
Because
on
all
you.
my friends have already filed their taxes.
They filed, not me.
Oh, you haven't?
No.
Okay, it's just us. Because everybody else has gotten their refund.
Oh, because
I'm
I
like,
don't
no,
get
I'm
a.
good.
I'm not getting a refund.
Oh.
I know that. So I just wait. Unfortunately, probably the worst thing to do. I just can't bite
So
that
what
bullet.
are some tips you have for tax season?
Um,
Like people filing before 3/15. What were some tips you
yeah.
had
So
for optimum saving and
yeah, I
getting the
mean,
most back?
I particularly work with business owners, so I'll really specify on that. Um, I really recommend one, not doing it yourself. So even if your business only generated $5,000, the amount that you pay to get your taxes done and for that professional advice is definitely worth the fee that you're paying. Oftentimes taxpayers feel like, oh, I ain't about to pay nobody. I can do this myself. Listen, it's not like it was back in the day when we were in college and we only had a W-2 and a 1098-T. Okay. So, and a lot of times what people
Yes.
fail to realize is, especially our people in our community, we have normalized tax refunds. And I'm going to be 100% honest. If you get a tax refund, that means one of two things. You have either overpaid the IRS and provided them with an interest-free loan, or you live in poverty, neither of which you want to be in. I mean, I'm not bragging about having 5 kids and only making $12,000 a year. That's nothing to brag about. And so when we start businesses and we have profitable businesses, we have to get out of that mentality of writing everything off, because it might seem great when you get a $5,000 refund, but when you need $20,000 for a vehicle and you take your tax return to the bank and they see that you've only made $9,000 for the year, you won't get approved for anything. So if we have a growth mindset and we're always looking forward to more assets, that means that we have to show income. And there are ways to still show income where you can get approved for things, but still mitigate your tax liability legally. And that's where tax planning comes in. Tax planning is separate from tax preparation. Tax preparation is you give me your paperwork and you give me the data. I prepare and file the taxes. Tax planning is we work throughout the year. At least once a quarter, we have a discussion, analyze your numbers, and I can estimate for you what your tax liability will be so that you can make those payments in quarterly estimated tax payments. Failure to do so results in interest and penalties. So the people that say, I'm gonna wait till October 15th and pay this $5,000, congratulations, you played yourself. You just gave the IRS more interest and penalties.
This is why we have him here.
Yes.
We told y'all today we're going to learn y'all something, okay? Things you don't know. And, a lot of people have been starting small businesses.
Yes.
And they don't, I don't know if taxes is something they think about. Getting a CPA, having a tax plan, how you're going to make the most out of it. We got y'all.
Especially, there's a lot of scamming on the internet going on. Okay, there's a lot of self-taught entrepreneurial gurus that'll just go tell you, oh, just get your business license. Don't worry about it. You can write this off. You can write that off. And then tax time come around, the IRS come knocking, and y'all got some serious stuff on your hands.
Right. Anytime somebody tells you about tax deduction and it seems too good to be true, ask them where in the IRS code does it say that? I'm still looking for the IRS code where you can write off red bottoms because I got about 5 pair in the closet that I paid for my personal account, and I would love to be able to write that off. But just wearing it in a photo shoot and calling that advertising, I'm sorry, that will not suffice in the event of an audit.
Okay, so what's something else you feel like happens that we, in our community that people should change? That's one.
Not being afraid to make a lot of money. Like, let's normalize having 6, 7, and 8-figure businesses. Why would I quit a job where I was making maybe $60K to go and work more hours in a business and make less than that and still have to pay people, pay expenses, and have less of a net income? It doesn't make sense.
So you would also suggest like keeping your job that you make your money, and then if you want a different business, then do that after hours? Would you suggest that as well?
Ideally, I would say there should be a transition period to which you are building your business and paying for education. So a lot of people like to take this leap of faith where they jump into a business where they have no idea. They quit their job and they do the HAP method. You ever heard of the HAP method? It's the hope and pray method, okay? They just hope and pray that God is going to bless them with the $1 million instead of paying a coach or consultant to give them the blueprint so they can skip the struggle phase and just go into the money-making phase. So I want people to know that coaching and consulting for your business is a tax deduction. Anything that's ordinary and necessary to have a profitable business can be considered a tax deduction. So that's the first thing, investing in yourself. I knew a guy who had a great 6-figure job working at a high-profile tech company and invested over $40,000 in coaching in 1 year, then quit his job and doubled his income from his W-2 job. So let's say he was making $100,000 before, paid $40,000 for coaching, fully tax deductible. Then the next year, quit his job and made over $200K in his business. And he's going to continue to make that money in his business. So that coaching and consulting is one. Travel, business travel. So people who follow me, they know that I take a business trip every month. Every month
I had a question on that.
there's either a retreat that I'm going to, a convention, a seminar, a conference. There's always something that I need to go to better my business that requires me to catch a flight.
To be on a flight.
Okay. Work smarter, not harder.
Sip on that. Listen, cheers to that. Okay.
Okay. And that was something that I saw on your Instagram page. It was, I think, a reel you did. And I was like, we got to have Jayden on because I have some questions about this because I wants to go.
I want to go.
And I'm not understanding how to make this work.
Okay.
So if you're traveling for your business, how does that become a write-off? Or you can't just say, oh, I'm taking a trip to like gather my mind?
No.
What is it, a mental health?
Okay,
Yeah,
so
mental health
let
day.
me give you an example. So I just hosted a retreat in Miami, Florida, for 3 days. Okay, and so what happens is the IRS counts. It depends. They base it off of your how many business days versus personal days to first determine if it's a business trip. So to be on the safe side, I usually recommend people to make 75% of the days that you're there business days, and the IRS only counts Monday through Friday. They're not looking at Saturday and Sunday. So if you are there for 5 days, I usually recommend 4 of those days are business days. Now, though, to make it a business day, you're not gonna just have a Zoom meeting. That doesn't count. But if there's actually some type of material, like if there's a conference and you have the pamphlet and things of that nature to show that, yes, these 3 days I was at a business conference, then that would help you in the event of an audit. So for 3 days, we had a business retreat. All of them got a binder that had the full itinerary of those 3 days for the business trip. So if in the event that they're audited, they will see that there was actually a curriculum. So over these 3 days, we talked about how to grow their business, how to market their business, what to actually focus on for the next 12 weeks so that they can have a 6-figure quarter. Okay. I want everyone that comes to this retreat to make over $100,000 in the next 3 months. And so because all 3 of those days, sorry about that.
There we go.
Because all 3 of those days were business days, that would count as a business trip. So you want to make sure that you time your vacations around events that are business related.
Okay. And so if you're doing that, you said the IRS only counts the Monday through Friday. So for a lot of for us, like a podcast, a lot of
internet radio show.
But I say podcast because the next statement is a lot of the podcast festivals or conferences are on the weekends. And so for other podcasters, is that just because it's on a weekend, does that not count as a business day, even though you're attending a curriculum or a couple of sessions, and then you might be spending the rest of your time there?
No. It definitely would count. Yeah, it definitely would count.
Okay.
Yeah. That just makes it easier, actually. So usually, like when I like to go to Vegas, I'll do like a Thursday through Monday, and then I'll go and I'll have meetings with clients because I have clients all over America. So I'll make sure that I have meetings with clients. I take pictures. Okay, selfie. We had lunch. I need that proof. I keep my receipts. You want to keep a digital copy you want to just get in the habit of keeping a digital copy of all your receipts, because in the event of an audit, bank statement won't work. So what I do is I snap the receipt, and then my bookkeeper attaches it to the transaction in QuickBooks Online. So the Lyft and the Ubers, the business meals, if you're actually having a meal with someone and discussing business, you want to write the name of the person on the top of the receipt and the reason that you met with them, and then make sure you snap that receipt and save it in your records.
That's a smart way to do it.
Yeah,
because I know when that comes to wedding stuff, I was like, I don't know why we was together. on this day, but I feel like your wedding was coming up, and I'm gonna start writing
I was gonna say when we purchase things for the show, I think we need to start keeping it.
Oh,
we
definitely.
started like keeping it, and then we're like,
but we weren't a business.
we weren't a business.
Yes.
Now we are a business.
So now we have a license.
Now we might need to book a session at Prestige Accounting Solutions.
That might be an email coming your way.
Absolutely. So another thing, like with all of that, like your microphones and all of those things, if it's a legit business, then yeah, you would those things would be tax deductible. Now, what I like to do is I'm known as the traveling CPA because I circle the lifestyle that I have is a luxury that is afforded by my business. So before, when I was W-2, I would have to take money out of my paycheck to pay for travel. But now that I'm a business owner, the business legally pays for my travel, and I get to explore the world and talk to entrepreneurs all over the country. And I don't have to pay for out of my W-2 wages that I get from my business.
You know, it's inspirational.
Yeah, you really talking.
Yeah.
Somebody in the comments said he preaching, and we're gonna have to agree.
Oh, and another thing, let's talk about paying yourself. So you should your business should be generating enough profits for you to pay yourself a salary. So as the owner of my business, I do pay myself W-2 wages. Most people, what they do is they'll pay themselves a fixed salary. You always want to make sure that, so for example, if you're a real estate professional, there's some research that needs to go into finding out what reasonable compensation is in your area, and depending on how many hours you work, it's a lot to it. But long story short, for me personally, I pay myself hourly because as an accountant, I hold myself to the same standard that I do my clients. And so we do job costing. So I track all of my hours. And at the end of each month, I want to see out of all of the money that I paid myself, where is that money at, like to which clients is that money allocated, and how much of it should be allocated towards marketing for the firm and things of that nature. But I do pay myself a salary. And in addition to that, as the owner of the business, I'm also able to take out profit distributions. So every quarter, depending on how profitable the company is, I can pay myself profit. I can distribute to myself some of the profits that I generated.
I'm at a loss.
You're at a loss because you're like amazing. You're at a loss because you want to know more.
It's all of the above. It's something about it's so interesting on this podcast. A lot of times we get people that know like so much, and then it's like my brain is like, what is happening? I probably shouldn't be drinking for this conversation. But here we are.
Like you want to take notes, right?
Yeah, it's like
I want to write this down.
This is amazing information.
Yeah, and
some things that you wouldn't think about unless you had that knowledge or know somebody that has the knowledge, and that's why it's important to have a CPA. And an accountant.
Yes.
And, to hire people like Jayden in order to handle the stuff for you.
Jayden, we have a chat room. I don't know if you can see it, but right now people are going crazy. They said you're definitely preaching. They want to learn more about this write-off. Someone's head just exploded like ours did.
It's funny because a lot of people are kind of intimidated in working with the CPA. So for those people that feel like I'm not ready to commit to that yet, but I do want to learn, I actually have a course. And so in that course, it has a number, like everything from travel deductions to retirement contributions to breaking down meals and entertainment. And what I do in the course is I actually tell them what it is, and then I actually give them the IRS code as well, so that they can look it up themselves. And then in addition to that, I do a monthly training every month. So like this month, we're doing a training on record keeping for accounting and tax
Okay.
purposes, so people understand the documents that they need to keep in a binder, so that they're not knocking on
Mhm.
somebody's door on 414, trying to get somebody to file a tax return.
That is real. And
Yeah.
I mean, so you've mentioned the courses that you have, but I realize we haven't talked about where people can find you
Right.
and how they can contact you, your social media. So why don't you just give us that right now? And of course, we'll put it on our Instagram too, but
Yeah, the
just for the people
the
listening.
best way, if they text CPA to 21000, they'll get my digital business card, and they'll get all of the different ways to contact me. But the the best the we have a standard sales cycle, and so the first step, if anyone's interested in learning more with working with me and my firm, would be to submit an application. And in order to do that, they can do so using the link in my Instagram bio at the Great Jayden. And that it will also be, when they text CPA to 21,000, they'll have access to my Instagram.
Perfect.
Perfect.
Here we go.
This is exciting.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of what else. Like, I feel like I want to know so much, but sometimes you don't know what you don't know.
Yes.
So, we're gonna pay some bills and come right back, Jayden. Don't leave us, y'all. We got some more questions for the great Jayden.
And if you have any questions for Jayden that you would like answered, please put them in the chat. Or you can, I guess, I don't know if you can call in right now, but okay, you can call in. But we'll be right back in a few minutes.
We are back. We are back with the Sip and a Shot on Plugged In Radio Network. Y'all, we have had a great time today and learning so much. We have Jayden Doye with us as our guest for tonight. And, we just have like one or two more questions for him.
So we only have a few minutes left in the show. And something that I feel like we can't let you go without
discussing.
talking about is the PPP loan situation.
Loans.
I feel like it's a high stress situation. There's been people getting in trouble for it.
Mm-hmm.
There are people that have it that shouldn't have got it. What have you seen, or like what should I don't even know how to ask it, because I'm not one of them people.
Yeah, so I thought that the program was a great idea to help those businesses survive. And the whole ideology behind it was to keep jobs out there so we can keep money in the economy. Unfortunately, there were a lot of people that were very unethical. There were people that literally were charging people 20% to file the paperwork, most of them filing fraudulent paperwork.
Mm-hmm.
Sips tea. So I didn't get into that. I was only doing a PPP for my actual clients at no additional charge, because they were already down and out. Why I'm gonna kick you while you're already down? So I did see a good amount of my clients were able to get it, some not. Unfortunately, some people, they do check your credit. And if your credit score is 400, sorry, sweetie, they're not going to do it. So some people missed it, unfortunately, but a lot of people did get it, and they actually paid it out in payroll so that they could keep their business running. And I thought that was great. And I think you got to think about it. Like, stop trying to do everything yourself. Hire people. That's another thing. Hiring people, that's literally a tax deduction, and it helps you make more money. So it's an investment. You're not being the chief everything officer, and you're able to have people do the deliverables while you bring in the clients as the business owner. But there are a lot of other programs and grants out there for businesses that have been negatively impacted by COVID. So it's just a matter of Google search. Y'all can Google search to find Love and Hip Hop. Go ahead and get on Google and find out how to write a grant application.
Period.
Okay.
And that's on period. Okay. Sometimes I feel like you need like a light read in order to get your life together.
To get your life together, just to, bring you back.
Yeah. And
just to bring you back.
You got to be talked to the way that you need to be talked to.
That
like
you need to be talked to. And for real, only we can talk to each other that way.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, everybody can't, like, I can hear that from him. I couldn't hear that from anyone else.
Yeah.
Yeah. Only 1% of CPAs are Black. And
That's
I think only 2% of CPA firms have a Black partner. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Those are the situations where you like walk in, like as a Black person, you walk into a room and you be like, got you.
That's true.
I see it. I see it. Because it ain't much of us. So you got to have my back and I got you.
You know. I know. I just had a friend who just passed her CPA. So it's very, very small number. But I love seeing it. I love seeing us in places that we technically weren't supposed to, quote unquote, be in. Mm-hmm. So shouts out to all of us doing things and growing and just trying to be better people. Yeah. And bring everyone else up. I like how you said, you like to inform the community and our community specifically, and just, sometimes you don't know what you don't know.
Right.
Amen.
Yep.
Well, Jayden, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Coming on. Before we let you go, we wanted to
okay. Hold on. The chat.
Before the chat went off really quickly. One of the questions are, they wanted to know your prices. They wanted to know what number to text. Give us your number one more time to text CPA to, what is it,
21,000. So 21000.
Okay. And we wanted
the person that asked for the price, let them know it doesn't matter because you're gonna make it back.
Hey.
And that's on period. Okay. Listen, you gotta.
I'm gonna let you know right now. Let me go ahead and let them know. Just because I'm Black don't mean I'm cheap. Okay, Black-owned businesses does not mean cheap. Prestige Accounting Solutions for a reason. If you want cheap, you go to H&R Block in Jackson Hewitt and let a student do your taxes. But if you want a certified public accountant, a unicorn, somebody in the 1%, you're gonna pay. You're gonna get your value, but you're gonna pay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's how it's supposed to be. That's the only way to grow. That's the only way to grow.
Okay, and I just dropped the text information in the chat too for everybody.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Jayden. Again, where can people reach you or see you at The Great Jayden? And then they also have an Instagram page and website, prestigeaccountingsolutions.com.
Yep. It's easier to just do accounting-atlanta.com. But yeah, once they text the number CPA to 21,000, they get all that information.
Okay.
Perfect. You make it easy.
Make it easy.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jayden. We really appreciate. We really appreciate it, because we like to have fun on our show, but we also want people to learn and get what you need.
Yes.
And if this is how you can get it, then we are here for the people.
Yep. And if you got to get it with a little sip at the end of your work day, we are here for that too. Even if it makes your brain explode.
All right, y'all. It's Monday night. We're going to close on out. This was fun, friend.
It was.
And we learned something.
Yes. And God willing, producer willing, we will have this episode out to y'all this week. Hopefully on Wednesday. And of course, we'll share it with you, Jayden, just so you can pass it on to people if anybody needs the information. And just so I know somebody said they wanted to rewatch it. So we'll have that for y'all. We'll put it on everything, anywhere you can find us. You will be finding this episode.
Yes. All right, y'all. It's VJ.
It's Jane.
And this is
A Sip
and a Shot. Bye.